Hi, how you guys doing tonight? Welcome to Real News Live. Hey guys, everyone hopefully is having a great day out there. Hi Barry, hi Richard, hi Billy, hi Nana, hi Debbie, hi Michael, or Mitchell, sorry, Penny, Rodney, Sandra, Richard. Hello, hello, hello. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Russia, first of all, is definitely showing it is prepared for much harsher war than anything that anybody thought it was capable of. As Russia warned of harsh reprisals after the bridge explosion, they have struck many cities in Ukraine without losing a single soldier, rocking even Kiev, Lviv, and many other Ukrainian cities. And Putin warned more attacks after the deadly Russian strikes rocked these cities. I mean, literally seeing the destruction is horrific. I mean, Kiev being the capital of Ukraine, they multiple explosions, of course, rock Kiev, and power outages on as Russian lashed out with a massive wave of violent airstrikes and carried out the carried echoes that initiated the initial days of the invasion. I mean, it's disastrous what Russia has done. Moscow fired approximately 84 or 34 cruise missiles. Was that 84 or 34? I can't see it. Probably have my glass on. 84 cruise missiles towards Ukraine. The Ukraine military said only 43 were able to be neutralized by the missile defense system that we provided them. I mean, they have our Hermes missile defense system right now. Of those cruise missiles travel a lot slower than ballistic or intercontinental ballistic missiles. Just to give you a heads up of what we could be looking at if we were to get hit with a nuclear weapon. I mean, less than half of the missiles were actually taken out, or neutralized by the defense system. 24 Russian attack drones were also used, and 13 of which were destroyed. This is ridiculous. Yeah, only one would have needed a nuke. This is sad. The critical damage, of course, to all of Ukraine now is sending a true message of how strong Russia truly is. They keep poking the bear, and Russia has taken off the gloves. Now, everybody's saying Russia was weak, they had nothing left, they couldn't really fight back. All it took was one targeted attack within Crimea that did crucial damage to a bridge in Crimea for the Kremlin to basically take drastic action. And they did this within a day. Can you imagine how quick this is going to happen? I mean, we can see it. Russia's not done yet. Russia has seen losses on the battlefield, but now, under pressure, the responsive force following the explosions, Putin said on Sunday he blamed Kiev, and he acted directly as it, and describing it as a terror attack, which it is. Now, even Zelensky's running scared. Zelensky, of course, saying that Russia could destroy them and wipe them off the map, basically, as Zelensky on the strike, Putin says Russia is trying to wipe us off the face of the earth completely. Well, I thought Zelensky just said that wasn't possible. Russia just said, "Hold my beer, I got this." Literally, after a parade showing ballistic missiles and tanks in well working order in Russia, they had an national parade there, and that's just the beginning. I mean, most of the main or bigger cities, Kiev, Lviv, Kharkiv, are all without power. At least a third of the traffic lights do not work. Civilians are warned to stay inside at this point. Two of the missiles hit Kiev's infrastructure facilities. The propaganda is gone. They're trying to say Ukraine's winning and Ukraine is more powerful because they have U.S. weapons is gone. That can no longer be claimed. Liev is all the way on the other side of right next to Poland, if you guys don't know. And that, of course, was one of the cities hit directly. Yes, that was a legitimate video parading ICBMs past the U.S. Embassy in Russia. That's a legitimate video, and that happened, of course, after Crimea. And I'm going to say I do not believe Ukraine was at all responsible for the attack in Crimea. I believe it was obviously a more well-trained government. Putin doesn't want a NATO war. Why would he? The U.S. wants war with Russia. That's the reason we're fighting a war in a standalone country against Russia. I mean, Russian-backed separatists since 2014 have controlled Donetsk, Mariupol, Kyrgyzstan, Luhansk. Those have been already places that should have been annexed. America is way too involved in it. Those are places that should have been annexed a long time ago, looking at the death tolls that we've seen since 2014 of Ukraine attacking its own citizens because they're speaking a different language, literally because they keep speaking Russian. Well, Ukraine was once part of Russia. That's what we are lacking to understand. It was once all part of the USSR. And this is coming to a head. People need to realize this. Russia is no longer standing there and just letting the people roll over them. People talk down about what Russia was capable of, and Russia just showed in one day what it is truly capable of. In one day. It's time to wake up. No. Billy, and that's the thing. No, I don't think even World War II was in our interest. We got involved in World War II when we shouldn't have. That's all I'm going to say about that. Even before that, we kept getting involved, of course, and making us like we fought Japan for China. Explain that. Does anybody know that? The only reason Japan even went to Pearl Harbor is because we were interfering with their war with China. All right, Brenda. Have a good night. I mean, this is ridiculous. October surprise is going to be entering a world war at this point. Knowing Russia is more than capable of it. It's just sad watching what's happening. Watching everything that's happening in this world, it's literally falling apart. Amongst everything that's happening in Ukraine and Russia right now, which was a very harsh matter of Russia taking and doing exactly what he needed to do to follow up with strikes in Crimea, or Korea is still yeah. Saudi Arabia hates us more than ever now for everything we've done. It is just sad, Billy. If you want to call in, more than welcome to. It is sad. Amongst all this, though, we're watching what's happening to the rest of the country. Or the rest of the countries, and of course, NATO Alliance. Hello, it's Real News Live. You're live on air.
Hi, Chris. It's Debbie. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm in Facebook jail, so I can't comment or any of that. I was a bad girl today watching that trial and made a few comments, and they locked me up. But
Oh
I
my
was going to
goodness.
ask you, did you see that speech that Pelosi made where she almost lost her teeth and how she was talking about this upcoming election and how midterms, how they're not worried? She basically said that they have a plan to steal this election or there not be an election.
Oh no, she's not worried. She already placed a ticket to be head of another committee instead of Speaker of the House.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why she's not worried. That's why the speech came out like broadly across like that. She knows they're going to lose the House. But
You don't think they'll try and get us in war so there won't be an election?
I think even if we're entering war at that point, it'll still be the very beginning. I think we would still have an election.
I surely hope
Unless
so.
we have war on U.S. soil, I don't think it'll affect us.
Do you really think Putin would attack America? I don't.
I don't think he would do it directly. I think he would retaliate for a direct attack.
By us doing our stupid shit.
Yeah. Just
And
one thing
then
we got to watch out for after another. I mean,
I just found this out talking with some of my friends that, you know, are all into paying attention to this. Did you ever find out what was in the box, the Tiffany box that Melania gave Michelle at the inauguration?
nope.
I heard it was ashes.
I don't know.
And there's some significance to that. I don't know. There's all kinds of new things that, or you know, people are saying this and saying that, and I guess if you go down the rabbit hole far enough, you could find out all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, if you keep digging, you can always find more information. But
Yeah, and it gets a little bit too scary. But I'm just hoping and praying that we're not going to see a war here. I'm hoping that whoever this puppet master is that's controlling this is not going to let it escalate to the fact that we get attacked on our soil.
well, that's the thing is they're going to keep escalating this. They want a defining moment where they can unite the world against, so they can become one government against basically the fraction of Asia and Russia, of course, the oil
And see,
fraction
Putin
of the
doesn't
world.
want the one world order. He's totally against it.
Yeah, but
And I think that's why he's fighting so hard.
that's kind of iffy. He's against the one world order, the U.S. version or the NATO version, but him and China are talking about a one world order too. So that's something new. So you just got to watch where we go. We don't want to be either way like that.
Right. And then there's one other question I have for you. I asked a while back about okay, so I have my dehumidifier downstairs, and you said that I couldn't use that water because it has lead in it.
Yeah, lead is actually in the solder on all copper joints. So when you have a condenser coil like that, it has lead in it.
Okay, so that water's no good. I can't use it for anything.
No, I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't give it to your animals.
No.
They make
What
water
about
concentrators that don't have lead, but those are specially made as water concentrators, and you pay for them.
okay. All right. Then I won't worry about saving up that water or anything for anything then. All right. How's Grandpa?
Grandpa's doing good. He's recovering day by day.
All right.
Day
Awesome.
by day.
All right. I just wanted to call in and say hey, and to everybody that I normally give notifications from. If you didn't hear from me, I'm sorry. I'm in jail.
All right. Well, stay safe and hopefully be out of jail soon.
All right.
God bless.
Have a good one. Bye.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, the news about. Let me talk about the Ukraine or Yukon. There was a missile intercept basically right outside the Yukon. It was a staged test. I'm going to tell you guys that so you guys know. I know it's not public yet, but it was a test of the missile defense system. Canada was performing their own test. And supposedly it's a really remote area where it actually happened. And the reports that we have heard of it are just very few and far between. So but it was a stage test. Billy, if you want to try calling back, you're more than welcome. I know you were trying to call in at the same time that we were on the phone. Sorry about that. But it's getting crazy. I mean, between Russia's response, China, North Korea, and of course, North Korea and South Korea are playing their game. Hi, Billy. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Chris. Real fast, I just want to say something about World War II. You were mentioning that before when we were talking about it. You know, it was going on for almost 2 years before we got involved. And America didn't want that war. The public sentiment at that time was, hey, we had a world war in Europe already. This is your fight now. We don't want it. That's why we couldn't get involved, because FDR knew he didn't have American support for it.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people believe that FDR knew and allowed Pearl Harbor to be attacked, and he knew such an attack like that.
We instigated Pearl Harbor in the first place. We took our ships from the Philippines and shot right up towards Japan, knowing Japan was going to do something drastic.
And another thing, a coincidence, is that was it a coincidence or just luck that we made sure that all our aircraft carriers were nowhere to be near Pearl Harbor on the morning of the attack?
Yeah, just magically they were all out of routine procedures and patrols.
So he knew that with such an attack on the American homeland like that the American public and the what's the word I'm looking for? The emotional outcry would support a war, and that was it. And that's what FDR needed. He needed us, you know.
And you know what's sad about? I'm gonna talk about this for a second, just because it's sad. The sad part is the end of that war. It ended long before those bombs were dropped. Long before we dropped the bombs on Hiroshima.
Oh yeah,
the people had surrendered. Japan had surrendered and whole.
Yeah, I'm starting not to believe their theory now about why they dropped it. I mean, for a long time we were always taught and told that the reason why they were dropped was that America was looking at 1 million casualties invading Japan. And I'm starting to believe that was all a bullshit story, because I think at that time, Japan's will to fight was gone. I mean,
they surrendered at that point. They surrendered like 12 days prior.
I got to throw that out, Jack. Don't touch it. Sorry. Yeah, so their will to fight at that point was gone. I mean, just the firebombing that they did to Japan and Germany. I mean, they killed more people in those firebombings over Japanese and German cities than they did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Like I said, the 300 and something thousand casualties just in Afghanistan, which we weren't actually at war with.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan. So I'm using that because of the low casualty number compared to the rest of the stuff we've been involved with. And then we look at Russia and we call Russia a violating war crimes and the horrific events, saying Russia's doing all this horrific stuff, when their casualties are nowhere near that number.
Yeah. Well, you know, the American government is a bunch of hypocrites. You know, what they did, and people got to look back and then read up about it. The fire bombings over Germany cities and Japan cities. They kill hundreds of thousands of civilians. And, everybody says, okay, well, you know what, we got to win the war. Okay. But you know what? I don't think we had to drop those bombs. I think those bombs were a message to Russia at that point. Because even though Russia was, like, basically fighting Germany on the Eastern Front for us, they weren't really our allies.
No, we didn't want them.
We didn't trust them then, and they didn't trust us.
We never wanted them as allies. That's been obvious since the beginning.
And there was a push to get that bomb before Russia. Forget about Germany. Germany was done. So the whole we had to get the bomb before Germany. No, it was. They knew Russia was going to be our adversary soon after that war was over. But that's what I wanted to say. Same thing with Bush. Bush used America's emotions after 9/11 to make up that lie about WMDs and going to Iraq. Americans want the revenge, which is normal. You see what happened on 9/11. Oh, yeah, let's go get those bastards. And, that's what Iraq was, all bullshit lies. And Afghanistan, after we couldn't get him, and the first time we went in there, he escaped, then there was no reason to start bringing thousands and thousands of troops and then start, going out on patrols. I mean, we were getting slaughtered like that.
And we were killing citizens left and right.
We were getting beaten by guys with flip-flops on.
Well, a lot more happened in Afghanistan than just flip-flops. There was a lot of people didn't want us there in the first place. So they did use makeshift explosives because we invaded their country for no reason.
Yeah. So, our government has made a lot of, bad decisions or wrong decisions, and they lie to their people a lot. And people got to wake up. And this whole thing with Ukraine is we're being lied to.
That's again, what I'm saying. If they need to be honest with the people. If the American government could be at least honest with their own people about how involved we really are and how much we're pushing this, that's the problem.
But what's amazing is, like, if you speak up and say, hey, wait a second, Ukraine's not that good of a place. Oh, you're a Putin supporter. Oh, you're a Russian supporter.
I'm against Putin 100%. I'm against Russia 100%. But I cannot agree with what the U.S. is trying to push as propaganda against Russia.
Yeah.
You can't say something when Russia's never going to win this war. Russia's weak. That's what they've been saying all along. And one day, Russia is making Ukraine pick through rubble.
And all those fake videos the Ukrainians put out, like the one 2 weeks ago, when they show the guy on top of a building raising the Ukrainian flag, and look, we claim real estate, we kicked the Russians back. That was all a lie. Every time there was a video, look, we came upon, look at these Russian tanks. Come on, they were making their own propaganda videos.
None of the annexed places Ukraine has even crossed into yet. They're afraid to. They've been annexed.
I want everybody to ask one question. Why in 2018 Congress did not want to send Ukraine money because of the neo-Nazis and the AIDS battalion members in the military just in 2018, but yet in 2022, the same people have no problem sending money in to help over there now?
And the Azos,
what has changed?
In 2018, Azos wasn't in charge of the military. They were just part of it. In 2020, they were in charge of the military by then.
But that's why in 18 Congress didn't want to send money there and aid because of that. But what has changed? Nothing has changed.
Parties. We went from a Democratic Party to a Republican.
We are still helping out Nazis who we thought we fought and defeated in World War II. Here's another thing real fast. Just to show how hypocritical our Congress is. They say that white supremacy is the number one threat in our country, but yet they have no problem sending money and military equipment to a military that has white supremacists in it. Explain that to me.
That is in charge of their military is white supremacy.
Yeah, but explain that to me.
I mean, you don't go, I can't explain it because you don't go from I'm going to state this again. You don't go from a 30% Jewish population in 2014 to a less than 1% population of Jewish people in Ukraine today.
I mean,
that
I wish
doesn't
I
happen.
could just sit in the White House press briefing room one day and just ask some of these questions. Because, those idiots in that room are not doing their job. They're not asking the right questions. All right, let me go, Chris. Nice talking to you. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, God bless, man. Stay safe. It's crazy, though. It is crazy what's happening out there. Everything our government's trying to push on us and hiding from us. I don't even know if you guys realize. I mean, England right now, their market, of course, and the UK bond market is melting down to the point of the Bank of England is buying up daily. Daily, it's buying bonds back. It's buying its own bonds. Bank of England is buying back its own bonds daily. make more liquidity available to banks. This is a problem. The whole system is failing. Everything that's happening with Russia and Ukraine right now, it's terrible. But the whole system as a whole is failing. Buying back their own bonds is a temporary measure at anything. Because you have to print money to buy those bonds. And that's where America is going to be next. Bond sales might be at an all-time high right now, but once the economy starts to go the other way, say prices start to go down and interest rates start to drop, people will try to offload bonds. And you know who's going to buy them back? The U.S. government, causing this cycle to get even worse. The U.S. government's going to be forced to buy back their own bonds at 4 or 5%. I don't think people realize how bad that's going to be. Think the government's broke now? Imagine it having no money to help out anybody. Not even pennies on the table. Running into hard times, and hard times are coming. Cold weather's already moving in up north. People need to be ready. Terrible. It's terrible what's happening here in Florida. The recovery effort, from Hurricane Ian is going well, I guess. But the biggest problem they're having now is so many insurance companies pulled out of Florida this year that a lot of these people don't have any insurance on their property because the insurance companies dropped them and pulled out as they pulled out of the state. So now, who's going to pay for those houses and all those homes? Who's going to get those people back on their feet? Our government can't afford it. It's just sad. OPEC and Russia are working together to cut fuel production when oil prices are going to climb fast. And we're selling our natural gas to Europe at an alarming rate. And all of a sudden, a pipeline, that supplies natural gas from Russia to Europe, that Europe was still buying. Oh, wait. No, the FEMA trailers that they built back over in Texas can't even be used. Those trailers that were built, the hundreds of trailers, they're deemed unfit for human dwellings. So, just dumping our strategic oil reserve before major war could possibly break out. And I don't think we'll see a first strike by any country but our own. I could see the U.S. doing a first strike just because of what Russia did to Ukraine today. I could literally see it happen. Just sad. All I can say is be prepared. Be ready for anything, Gas price is going to go up at least an average of $1 a gallon. Be prepared. Be prepared. Of course, if you guys can afford to donate, please do. We definitely appreciate it. But I'm going to have to sign off here. Say God bless you. God bless America. Not our government, but the people itself. Those are the people that matter. Be prepared. Wish you all the best. See you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. God bless you and good night.